Hi again, everyone. I hope you're still managing to stay well during this season that we find ourselves in. We've got another thought for you today, and it comes from Major Martin Wheeler. Martin works at our divisional headquarters and is married to Michelle, who sent us a thought earlier in this series. So here's Martin's thought for us today.
The world has shrunk. Over the last few weeks, the horizon has shifted. It has retreated from a world full of possible destinations to the limits of our homes, or, if deemed essential, travelling to our place of work. Our physical neighbourhood has suddenly become the geography of our lives, and more than ever, we are called to ask, who is my neighbour? An expert of the law, recorded in Luke chapter 10, challenged Jesus with the same question, who is my neighbour? On this occasion, we're told that the man wanted to test Jesus. But it very quickly became apparent that it would be Jesus asking the difficult questions. Like many times before, Jesus responded to the question with a story. He sets the scene by introducing us to the man walking down from Jerusalem to Jericho. He creates the tension as the man is beaten up, robbed, and left for dead. Jesus then introduces the key players in this story. They're caricatures of well-known groups within the community. The people listening would no doubt recognise this, and even as Jesus speaks, I imagine people put in their own names and faces to the priest, to the Levite, and to the Samaritan. I imagine in my own head Jesus drawing the crowd in. They respond with concern to the plight of the man who was attacked and robbed. And then, with increasing shock and even horror, we're told that it's not the priest or the Levite, but the Samaritan who stops and begins the costly process of the broken man's restoration. For me, the power of the story is held in the action of the Samaritan man who stops, takes stock, and responds. You see, the story is not really discovering about who our neighbour is. Rather, it is about discovering who we are. Jesus is challenging us to demonstrate our love through our willingness to stop, take stock, and respond. I see an interesting parallel here. A virus has dramatically changed the way we live our lives. Our normal routines have been disrupted. We have had to stop. This time of enforced lockdown has created a time of reflection, as we've had to come to terms with the enormous challenges that we face, but also discovering insights as to what is essential in life. We've had to take stock. And finally, we've found creative ways to connect with those around us. For example, in our isolation, we have discovered community. In our mutual concerns for each other, we've experienced generosity. And because of the sacrificial living and giving of others, we're simply stood and applauded. We've been moved to respond. We have stopped, taken stock, and responded. As we carefully navigate through this difficult, complex, and costly time in our history, may we continue to explore how we can be Christ in our communities. Like the story that Jesus referred to, it's about our willingness to pause, to consider how we can make a difference in our communities, and then pray for wisdom, insight, and courage to be the difference.